is over.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Persona
What?
4. Shit.
What did they miss?
Our short lecture
What
on
did I
gender
miss?
identity in Persona 4. No, Alright, so back to where we were. We had stopped.
Okay.
Sarah was about to bring his
2
halberd...
minutes until it happens. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Sarah was about to bring his halberd down on the magical circle.
When
I'm guessing Sable stops him.
Sable's gonna try to, which is probably not gonna go well.
Okay, how does she try stopping him?
She'd drop her broom and just reach for try to catch the halberd, basically.
Okay.
So basically, she's grabbing the halberd to stop you.
Mm-hmm. By the half, it's not the head.
Sarah will raise an eyebrow and take a glance at her. And
Does she stop, or do you have to?
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, you stopped the halberd.
Yeah.
You actually know what you're doing? Do you even know what the circle is for?
Nothing good.
Do you have the foggiest clue what you are doing?
Break the circle, you break the spell.
What does the spell do? Do you even know that?
Not as easy as that.
He looks around and says, well, whatever it could be, it could not be for saintly tasks.
Well, you don't know that. I mean, they are angels on the stained windows.
And sacrifice pits outside.
Listen to me for just 30 seconds, okay?
What is it?
I'm going to tell you my theory of what's going on here. And you're going to listen. Good.
Yes.
There are a number of very unpleasant creatures here that shouldn't be here. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. There are angel statues in stained glass. This looks like a veritable cathedral if it wasn't for the Diabolist's magic circle in the center of it. Yes? Yes. We know that a demon called the Shadow is bound here. I happen to know the Shadow doesn't particularly like playing by any rules. It's not a very pleasant demon to have loose. Some Diabolists don't do what they do for selfish reasons. They bind demons to keep them from doing harm. Sometimes those bindings weaken. That's why I'm going to banish it back to hell. But right now, what I see is a Diabolist who brought in some very unpleasant creatures to sacrifice them to fuel a ritual to bind a demon so the demon would stop doing harm. That's weakening, and we need to take care of it. But this isn't the site of a selfish Diabolist or an evil caster. You don't know what that circle is for. So don't break it.
Yes, please, listen to reason, my lord.
I agree with Sable. You don't know what the hell is that circle for.
For a man of the law, you don't particularly follow much of an order of things, do you? I just turn away from him.
Burn.
See here.
Burn.
Seraph gives out a frown at her.
Sick burn! You hear from the entrance.
Drunk, enough of that!
He brings a hand to his chin and in his mouth in thought.
Now, I could be wrong about that. I can only judge by what I see. But I know a little bit more about it than you.
Oh. And then she sips her cup.
Well then, Sable, prove your theory.
All right.
Yes, quite right. You know the symbolism here.
If this is what you believe, prove it.
Prove it. All right. Exactly what would you have me do to prove it? And why do I need to prove myself to you?
Well, if you have no proof that this is a benevolent circle, I'll assume it's a malevolent circle.
Sure. All right. I'll prove it. Really, you're missing the point here. Magic is a tool. It isn't inherently good or evil, regardless of what it's for. This is a binding circle. And she steps up to it and picks her broom up again and pokes at it till it shows resistance.
Yeah.
Wait, it didn't do that before. Do that again.
You feel resistance, and then the rest of you kind of see distortions in the air as there is resistance pushing back on the broom that she presses in.
Wait, just try that again.
All right, and she pokes it again.
Same
Yes!
resistance.
I see.
Vera, what do you make
What
of
you want to
this?
do?
Well, it's hard to say, my lord. The books I own, they're unhelpful in this instance. She would be more knowledgeable than I on this situation. I hate to admit.
Meanwhile,
Is that true?
yes,
so.
that is true. I'm an exorcist. He's a wizard.
She did prove that she can banish demons. She may know about
I'm
this.
so sad.
How about we stop arguing about it and we finish what we came here to start?
You are
Thing
the
is,
exorcist. Finish what you started.
Well, do what you propose to do, Sable.
All right.
I will, just as soon as we find that orb.
Thing
Oh.
is, what if the orb is below this seal or something like that?
It shouldn't be. There's a staircase, right?
No.
Oh, there's not any way out of here?
No, it's completely self-contained.
So where's the orb that you speak?
Well, I'm ashamed to say it, but I think Paladin here would have the best sense of where the most concentration of evil is.
Please, my lord, allow your light to penetrate the orb. Sense it.
Alright, let's see. I do have detect alignment and what here is evil?
What here is evil? Well, aside from the normal pinging from Sable's bag of books, you get a very, very, very slight presence from the center of the circle. Almost incredibly slight.
It could well be under the seal, but
Well, I
But-
feel evil coming from the circle.
No, you feel it coming from the center of the circle. The circle
From
itself,
inside.
not evil.
There appears to be evil inside the circle.
Tell you what, give me... You want me to prove it? I'll prove it. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to try something.
Alright,
And
take it.
I force my way through the circumference of the circle.
Okay. The rest of you, as soon as she breaks through the resistance, the air kind of distorts around her like water. And
Sable, what did you do?
she's invisible.
Sir crosses his
Finally.
arms together and stares intently into the circle, still halberd in hand.
Within the circle, Sable, you see a small humanoid figure bent over a desk with one very large eye and one very small eye, and it's reading whatever it is on the desk.
Does it see me?
It doesn't quite, like, it glances up when you walk in, but it doesn't really react.
Oh, hello there. Who might you be?
I
What?
am the one who watches.
Oh, I see.
2.
Right. Sable takes a very big step right back out.
3. Wait, should this come straight out?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Sir asked with the eyebrow raised.
Give me just a moment. I need to consult a book. There's somebody in there. Don't disturb him, please. And she starts rifling through her bag of books. So,
Spout lore or
Right.
specific book?
Specific book. Yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome.
Whichever one has the biggest list of demons that I've seen thus far.
That'd probably be the notes.
Okay, I'm through the notes.
The notes you kind of see have mentions of specific weaker demons used for basic petty kind of stuff. Usually this knowledge was shared among the cabal that the notes were from. But it makes references to one who watches as somebody who can basically lend divine vision. Divine vision. Able to see divine beings, angels, demons, holy spirits, even those that take the souls of the dead to the Black Gate, and their actions. And then, usually, because of that, the one who watches has divine knowledge that others wouldn't have. They're also able to see into certain divine or mystic realms.
I communicate that to everybody else. So
Sir raises an eyebrow and says, "Give me just a moment. I'll take a look at this for myself." And he goes to walk himself. Presses his halberd into there and just slowly starts walking in himself. Take a look.
The air distortion wraps around Sir, and he's invisible again. Sir, you walk in. You can see everybody. Let me put it this way. You can see everybody outside of the circle, but it looks really hazy at the periphery of the...
what here is evil?
You sense a very, very, very small amount of evil from the small humanoid figure bent over the desk. As you walk in, he kind of glances up again, and then glances back down on the desk.
And you are the Watcher, as I hear it?
I am, and you are the Dawn Edge, correct?
Yes.
I see.
You know of the Dawn?
Of course. I know of all gods. Living or dead.
Is that so? Interesting.
Of course.
Sir circles the guy.
Basically, if he's not talking, he's bent over the desk reading
He circles the guy and looks over his shoulder.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. When I say tiny, I mean he's about on par with what you would expect of a pixie.
A pixie?
A pixie. Oh. Very, very small.
Okay.
What? He's obviously got the fucked up eyes.
But you can see one eye,
or is he all the way down there?
In terms of proportions, one eye's like this, the other eye's like this.
So, is he all the way just in the middle of the room on a desk, or is he all the way to the ground?
He's all the way on the ground in a desk, sitting at a desk that is appropriate for his size.
Okay.
And you can kind of see some tiny papers on it, maybe, but it's kind of at the point where you'd probably have to get a magnifying glass to read them. But when he speaks, it is loud enough for you to hear very well.
Why are you here, creature?
What is your purpose? Well, I was bound to answer questions.
Of what nature?
Of any nature I can. But mainly having to do with divine beings like yourself or others of my kind.
And has anyone asked you about me and the Dawn?
I've been asked about the Dawn, but nothing about you specifically.
What have you told?
Just that they have sent the Dawn Edge here, or where they have sent the Dawn Edge in the past. I don't know. It depends on what year it is.
What year is it, actually?
I guess it depends on your method of timekeeping. The people of Godoran have it at about 1500. Since they've been keeping track, or since whoever they've come from has been keeping track. But it's generally accepted that there were things before that, but nobody ever wrote that shit down, and nobody's ever traded with anybody else to find out if there's anything else before that.
All right.
In terms of where you're from, probably a little bit longer, but not by much.
And what do these people look like that asked you these questions?
There's one big fat guy. There's another one that had this real long black hair. I remember him because he was nice. He asked me a lot of questions about.
Was his name Sarkov?
I don't care what names. I just remember he liked to ask about the King of Ghouls, that god.
So yeah, probably Sarkov.
I don't know. All you mortals look the same to me.
All right. And what happens when we release you from your binds?
From the circle?
Yes.
Well, I'm probably gonna go back to where I came from. I mean, I don't really have any reason to stay here. I can see a lot more from where I come from.
BRB.
Uh-huh.
So the conversation has stopped.
The conversation. None of you guys hear
Yeah.
anything from within the circle.
Rin,
Yeah,
what the hell's going on?
After that span of time, I think Sable's going to get ready to jump back in. So I guess once 14th is back.
Okay.
I don't know, Bayar. I'm going to ask them once they're finished, because I don't know what the hell's going on.
He's
Hi,
plainly
Korax.
talking to
Any
the.
idea?
He's talking to the one that watches, who I need to speak with. So the one that watches had better be alive by the time I get in there.
Right,
But I'll
the
give
one
them a
that
moment.
watches. The one that watches is what? A demon, a spirit, a what?
If it's a demon, is it a demon?
It's classified as a demon. Not really.
A very, very.
Let's put it this way: if you were to draw a line between an angel and a demon, this would probably be slightly on the demon end.
Okay. It's a demon technically, but it's barely
Technically.
a threat. No, it was only bound here for, useful purposes. And if you believe what I believe about this place, then we can rather fairly assume that it doesn't mean much harm.
So,
I'm worried.
does it have
I should
anything
go in
to
there.
do with? Does it have anything to do with the creatures, or does it know anything about the other demons? Did it tell you something?
I didn't know. As soon as I saw that it was a demon, I stepped back out, but I'm going to step back in just a moment.
What did he say to you?
Right, if he can watch and see and know things, ask him where are the other demons for me.
That's the plan.
This
Wait, which demons do you mean? I was going to ask about the shadow.
probably a good start. This said, ask him about bard called Arrow, just in case.
Yes,
Just
genius.
in case.
Well, he's only a watcher of divine beings, but I will. We'll see.
Unless our friends somehow become a god.
Well, that will be
Well, he's a bard.
very peculiar.
That
I
wouldn't.
suppose a bard would have the gall to do that, wouldn't he?
Well, he did came back from the dead, in a way.
Came back from the dead. Perhaps he is a divine being.
Did he know?
Yes,
tell
I
what
saw it
killed
with my
him.
own eyes.
Well, he kinda died, but then he got better and had to burn a church because of that.
Oh. Alright. Fair enough. I can think of worse
Yeah.
costs.
Yes.
Uh,
Hi, Korax. Please
This,
get up
reminds-
here.
Speaking about demons and orbs and things that we don't know, Bayard, do you remember something about the one in the catacombs? You know, the one who
Yes.
destroyed the orb, right? And then it possessed some people, and then
I'll be right back, guys.
I do.
And then-
I do recall something of that ilk.
remember what happened what happened when I smashed the fuck up the last guy that was possessed?
Yes.
The mists got outside.
Hmm.
So it kind of dawned on me tonight that there's probably a demon on the loose, and we don't know where it is.
But surely we took it down. The woman
which
over
demon do you
there, she
speak of?
sealed it.
Oh no, I mean the one
Which
in the
demon are you
catacombs.
speaking about? Was
Well,
it ugly, tentacles, smelled really bad, filthy?
Nope, just mist.
But
Just mist, and whoever it possessed, it had some sort of evil energy coming out of them.
well,
The
that
first one.
Oh, let me talk to you about that later. I'll be back.
Sure.
All right.
So what did I
Now I
miss?
step in after sir.
At this point, sir, Sable steps into the circle with you shortly after, and as he says this, the demon kind of looks up and says, "He's stirring, you know."
Pardon?
Who is?
You know who.
I'm sure. Now, if you
Sarah
wouldn't
looks at
mind,
Sable. What is it he speaks of?
not now, holy man. Time is important.
At this point, the demon kind of stops, kind of holds up like one atrophied old finger at you, says, "Hold on, I'll get to you in a moment. You know who I'm talking about, Dawn Edge." And he's not going to be happy about it.
Oh.
This is
Who
new.
does he mean, sir?
Sarah frowns and just stares at the creature.
Now, you can ask me your questions later, but you, young man, you seem like you're willing to play ball. What can I tell you?
Me?
What do you need to know?
Me?
No. He as soon as he saw you frown.
Oh. You said
Yeah.
young man, so it sounded
I'm sorry, young madam.
like you were still talking to.
Young madam, sorry.
Right. Well, I suppose you might know where the shadow is bound. Would you?
Yeah. I'm aware of where all divine beings are, at least on this continent.
At least on this continent. So you wouldn't happen to know where the Joker is. That's fair enough.
To the west, I guess?
The Western Isles, which are thought not to exist. It's not important. Where is the shadow?
Now, that we might need to talk about. Now, you see, and I'm sure even your holy friend here... Oh, hold on.
So,
I'm sorry. It kind of seemed like it cut out there for a minute.
Yeah, goddamn it, Skype. It was getting
Goddamn
good.
Skype. We'll give it a
is my
moment.
connection starting up again?
There's a lot of voice distortion.
Right when it's getting good.
All right, the camera's back on. You there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, go.
Yes.
that's
Yes,
better.
it's okay.
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 And it says, I'm sure even your holy friend here, there's always a cost to anything you do.
Yes, there is. So, what would interest one who watches?
One who watches. Well, you could free me, so I can go back to where I reside.
And where do you reside?
Where do you think I reside? Do you want the address, or do you just want the general answer that any human wants? That's what I thought. I'm guessing she disconnected again.
No.
Oh,
It's
okay.
perfectly
She's
fine.
there.
Perfectly fine. So I have your promise that if I were to free you, you would return to hell.
Ah. Now that's
Can you hear me? Check,
good.
check.
I
Hello?
can. Let's see here. So you want exact knowledge of where the shadow is, or where he's bound, at least, And in return, you will free me, and I have to return to hell.
Yes. That seems fair. That's what you want, isn't it?
It seems like we can make a deal. And at this, he kind of reaches down to the papers on his desk, shuffles them a little bit before looks like he slams his hand down on the desk, and he grows to about the size of a gnome.
Mm-hmm.
Just big enough that he could interact with you guys. And he says, "Give me one moment." He kind of rifles in a coat, and he pulls out an old set of paper and says, "One moment, just let me script this out." And he begins scritching on it with like this really shitty quill pen. Okay. So I have it all here.
I struck my finger at him. No failure clause.
No failure clause.
Yes, you do. This will be done in 5 minutes.
Sure. I mean, only the really big ones have failure clauses. I see.
Well,
So, okay, so it is the big guy. All right. Well, here's the contract. It basically states that in return for the knowledge of the one who is known as the Shadow, I will explain to you where he is bound. In return, you will free me from the circle, and I will return to hell.
Absolutely. I take a look at the contract.
I have a question. Can you
Sure.
see what's going on
Yes,
outside the circle?
I can see it, and I can read lips. But do you guys? No. You guys just kind of see everything hazy. Like, if you watch the Lord of the Rings movies, when he puts on the ring, everything outside of the circle looks like that.
Sable, let's
Oh,
discuss
weird.
this outside. He grabs her arm and gestures she follow him out.
Hurry back now.
She twists away, actually. No. Why?
I think we should discuss this with everyone first.
I don't think this is everyone's business. If you want to step out, go ahead.
Sir squints his eyes at her and... What do you mean this is not their business?
Now, hold on. Before you sign your deal, I needed to ask the big holy man here.
What is it?
An opportunity that very, very few in your order will ever have before its destruction. Would you like to know what put him in that stone and when he's going to come out?
Sir is extremely silent at this.
Everything on heaven and earth and below, I'm aware of and I've seen if it comes to the divine.
Sable, we need to step out now.
You guys?
What's that? You're cutting out. If you're saying anything, I can't hear you right now.
There it is.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Sable, you there?
I said,
Oh wow, it's really.
Yeah, it's we're hearing about maybe every third syllable.
Oh.
I know there's syllables in there.
Here, try to turn your webcam off. Maybe that'll bring your mic back up.
That's a good idea.
turn off my camera and see if that.
Say it again.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Are you still talking, or is that it?
Here. Hang on. You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Still
hear
says my
you.
webcam is on,
It's
so.
still a little distorted,
Huh?
but
It's still a little distorted, but we can understand you.
It's not turning my camera off.
it's off for us.
It's off for us.
If you want to hang up on the
Yep.
call and join the call, that might help.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Gonna-
Maybe you should leave the group call and then
Yeah,
enter
like
again?
actually click the hang up button and then reach. Okay, there she is.
Okay, there she go. Let's see. So what did I miss anything particular while I was AFK?
No, we had stopped because basically Sable was about ready to step in.
Okay.
But it's interesting because demons are things that are aware, and ultimately, in real life, even though it may not necessarily be the case here in Casmaran.
Well, since you did say something, I guess I should give you a little bit more history of that thing in detail.
Well, the history that you have, definitely.
Yes. Hang on. Let me go.
There we go. Am I
Yes.
out
No.
of?
Yes.
Well, okay. Sorry about that.
Yep, we can hear you.
Don't worry.
I had no idea what happened.
No worries.
All of the worrying.
Okay.
All of the worries.
Okay, real cool.
Defy danger plus worry.
All right, so we had just left.
So-
You two are arguing about whether or not you would need to
Yeah,
stay in the circle.
Yeah, Sir told me to step out, and I said he was welcome to step out.
Why are you being aggressive about this?
Well, because, big guy, ultimately she realizes that I can't lie to her about the information I'm going to give, and she's willing to get that information.
Why are you?
Why are you... There is nothing wrong with discussing before making a contract with a demon, of all things.
Oh, that's a really bad word to use. I can get mean with labels too, child murderer.
Child
People,
murder.
So,
I-
so did the demon just tell Sir to check his privilege?
You just called him a child murderer.
Yeah, it is.
How
I take a look
could
at-
he?
I take a look at the contract to make sure that it's what we agreed on verbally. There's no, like, your soul
No,
is
there's
consigned to
no
hell kind of thing to it?
No, there's no failure clause. It's very similar covenanter, consignatory, or cosignatory.
Sir
Basic
grabs
stuff.
her tightly by the shoulder, and he will force her out now.
And I'll
Kicking
do
and
my best
screaming if
to...
need be.
And I'll do my best to fight that.
What does...
Oh no! come
Ultimately,
on.
I'm
Don't
going to
keep
say
me-
it's not hard for him to pull her the 2 feet it takes to get out of the circle. However, everyone on the other side of the circle, you see Sir basically manhandling Sable out of the circle as hard as he can.
My lord, please,
Let
not
no
in
one-
this area.
No one look at the circle while you speak. The thing
So
in there can read
inappropriate.
lips.
It's nothing.
Fred,
The
you're
thing
a
in there
woman.
poses no
Don't do
threat
something.
whatsoever.
And let's discuss things rather than making a contract with a demon.
It's barely a demon. There is
Barely.
no consequence whatsoever.
Well,
You don't know
let's-
what you're talking about.
Well, how about we let everyone know what deal you're trying to make, and let them
Sure.
give their opinion.
Fine. No, sure, fine.
Stop
Rin,
this conflict
They are.
at this instant.
Rin, Bayar, Hycarax, Kronk. She calls over, and I call over and look at him.
Fuck. I don't want to get
In this-
involved with this magic bullshit. I told you guys.
Ron,
In
get
this
over
circle-
here now.
Is
So
in the
where
circle is a,
So what happened exactly? She came out, or we were all summoned inside?
no,
she
we-
came out. She's
We came out.
basically, you
I
guys
dragged her
saw
Sir just backed out.
Sir drag her out, roughly.
In this circle is a very minor demon who has agreed to return to hell where it belongs if we free it from the circle. If on the condition that it gives me the location of the shadow vis-a-vis the demon we need to banish. And Sir here thinks that having the exact location of where the shadow is bound isn't worth sending a demon back to hell, apparently.
My point
Look,
is we
this
should
re-
discuss this before we just make a contract with a demon.
I agree with
We
my
aren't
lord
making a contract.
implicitly.
I
Okay,
am making a contract with the demon. You aren't
Sable-
involved in this.
Sable,
What?
I have a question. Does it mention your soul in any part of the deal? Or do
No,
you
it
think-
doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay.
And she holds up the
So-
contract for Rendici.
So,
Look, it's a simple
you-
exchange
you
of
know-
services.
Okay, you know more than this than I do, okay?
Mhm.
This demon wants you to banish it back to hell.
Yes.
Why would that demon, minor demon, whatever, want that?
Because its function is to watch, and it can see things better from there. It's bored here.
Okay, sir.
I
do
would
you have
guess.
Okay, sir. Do you have any problem with sending a demon back to hell where it belongs?
That's not the issue. The issue is how trustworthy this creature is. And
Yes.
there can always be a loophole.
There isn't a loophole.
If you like, I
Certain
can
realities.
recite the text of the contract word for word if you
Yeah,
like.
can you actually write that down for us to read?
Certainly.
And I want
Give
to
me
see
one
realities.
moment. Ugh.
Okay. Right. The possibilities of a
7.
loophole. What could, in the worst case scenario, that demon take from Sable or from us? I look at
In a-
both Sir and Sable.
Okay, I'm discerning
in
realities.
a worst case scenario, a demon could, I suppose, take my soul. Except this is a minor demon. It's barely a demon, and the contract says nothing about my soul. If it somehow made a pass for my soul, it would be subject to the courts of hell, and he would lose horribly. And given that he's so minor, he would probably suffer for it.
Okay,
Right.
I just rolled to discern realities, and my question is, what here is not what it appears to be?
The size of the size of the creature, if not necessarily intensity of power. It's actually really that small thing that you saw, but it took a bigger size so it could interact with you.
All right. So, pretty
But
much the obvious.
everything in the contract is on the up and up.
Right. Okay, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but does this contract say anything about that could be abused in any way, sir?
No.
I'm asking, sir.
Sir
Oh, sorry.
is going to look through the contract when Chiefs gets it up, and
Yep, give 1 moment.
he has a general vibe that I guess it's nothing wrong with it.
This negotiation needs more parties. Crunk, High Corax, come forth.
This is some magic bullshit.
No, it's not.
I am not having any part of this. Krunk is emphatic about not even stepping up on the stairs.
What
to
about
this-
you, High Corax?
You're a smart man, Krunk.
Speak now. Oh, God damn it.
God.
So,
I think this side of the room is just the indifferent side.
what are you guys doing while Sir is studying the text?
I'm just trying to continue the negotiation, really.
Okay.
There is no negotiation, though. Well,
I believe we should have a delegation.
Delegation.
they are, I swear.
God damn it, they are.
I will find out exactly how flammable your hat is, wizard.
Really? Well, let's see the spark of your spells. And
Guys,
do a little
guys.
gesture.
Calm the hell down. I made a pun. Calm down, okay? Let's not go throwing spells at each other for no good. This contract seems legit. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure about how demons work on the hierarchy and other power, but I trust that Sable knows what she's doing. And in any case, I don't think this demon could do much.
Thank you, Ren.
It worries me that they need to be bound here for any reason. But if this demon is as harmless as she says, we have literally nothing to lose.
We really don't.
Now,
And-
I'm really, really, really suspicious of the reason the demon wants to be in hell. But I guess that's how demons work.
My
Well,
suspicion
think about it.
is it's not as weak as it tries to come off as.
Well, no, it's not as weak as it tries to come off as, but that doesn't mean it's strong. Think about it, Rin. Would you like to be trapped in a room about, the size of this circle for God knows how long? No, you wouldn't.
I guess that's a fair point. Still,
You would rather
demons are
be-
exactly
Demons aren't exactly
Demons-
what?
like mortals. But whatever. I see your point. I
They're
guess
closer than
I'm
you might think. They're closer than you
I
might
guess-
think, Rin.
I guess I'm siding with her. We can do this deal as long as the contract is totally proven not to have any sort of loopholes, all things that might hurt us.
It doesn't. And again, stop saying we. I'm the only one signing this thing. Even if there is something wrong with it, you folks don't need to deal with it.
Whatever comes out of that circle, maybe.
Nothing's going to come out of the circle. I'm going
How?
to destroy the circle, and the demon's going to screw right off back to hell.
Bayar, do you have any reason not to follow this contract?
Well, I'd like to really know Kai Korax's opinion on the matter before we continue any further.
Oh my god.
He hasn't spoken
and
a
then Kai
word
Korax-
since we entered the chamber.
Well, he's still a stag.
And then High
Yeah.
Correction in stag form says, "Eh." Take that as you will.
God damn it. Fine, look. Whatever you're gonna do, just get it over with.
Okay.
Actually, Sleeping Dragon, do you have anything to add to this? I heard you. I heard you laughing. I know you're there. You can run away from us.
Sheets, I did send you a little bit more about the Dawn.
Okay, I'll check it in a moment.
Okay. Oh, this is a long contract, huh?
I just have to make sure I have the language right.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
actually not that long. It's actually one of the shorter ones I've ever drafted.
Oh, yeah. Sarah's going to be looking for any loopholes, so you're trying to make sure there is no loopholes or something?
Certainly. Let me go ahead and put it.
Or make
I'll
sure
go ahead and put it both
there
in
is a
Skype
loophole.
and the.
Oh, my God. Suddenly, tons of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I just beeped out a note.
Yeah.
Wait, who? Ariel?
Hmm.
Okay.
Didn't he expressly say there was no failure clause?
No failure clause for your
No
soul.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Oh shit, you have to be his servant.
Should the cosignatory fail to uphold her into the
Should
bargain.
I
You
fail? Which I won't fail if nobody makes me fail, and I look very pointedly at Sir.
You have to be careful.
You
I,
Just
think
a
I
moment.
don't know that?
I'm reading
I
this.
give a discerning glance.
She did manage to bound the demon in the city. I think she may be able to do this. Now, how do you exactly will bound this demon?
I don't need to bind
I mean,
it.
what's
I
the
just
trick?
need to set it. I just need to set it loose.
Right. How you send it loose?
By destroying the circle.
And setting it loose would mean it goes straight back to hell.
It's
according to the
contractually
terms of the
obligated to.
But what if it turns his attention on us? Would he be breaking the contract?
He would. He has to
And
return
therefore,
immediately
what-
to hell.
Okay.
The issue is, he will return to hell immediately, and he will not convey. He will convey this information only afterwards at earliest convenience.
No, it's at the earliest convenience of the co-senatori that she will free the Covenanter from the binding.
Yes.
Just a question. What if the Covenanter fails to uphold its end of the bargain?
It isn't written. I'm sure you could ask him.
That's a question. That's my question to Sable.
That is
Well,
a good
if
question.
I guess
if he fails to uphold his bargain, then the rest of it's moot.
what?
Signed
he-
in blood.
Moot as in no longer relevant. It's gone. It's vetoed out. Gone.
Yes, exactly. Nothing here takes effect until it's signed. Once it's signed, he has to tell me, and if he doesn't tell me, I don't have to do the rest. It's very simple. It's a simple covenant.
Are you going to sign in your own blood?
Well, I guess demons aren't exactly fond of ink.
Sable.
Surely there's some parchment.
Would you
Your
please
whole
give me the contract back, sir? I put my hand out for it.
Sable.
What?
I really hope for your sake you know what you're doing. And he hands it back to her.
I know
Lord.
exactly what I'm doing. Now, I really hope for your sake you know what you're doing with your god, because it sounds like things aren't going so well. And I step back into the circle.
How dare you?
He follows.
The demon is standing there, waiting.
I put the contract down on the desk and put my hand out for the quill.
Sir has his arms crossed and is kind of staring.
Don't listen to her, my lord.
Before we-
Jeez.
He's inside, by the way.
He's
He's
in the
inside.
circle,
He can't
so
hear you. Before we start, I wanted to ask you again, holy man. Before you would have to go through the deal of getting me back here, do you want to know what really happened? Because
Yeah.
I'm
I can
sure
be-
that there's nobody else in the entire world that can tell you what I can tell you, and nobody
Here,
that
let
would
me,
want to tell you.
Tell me in private.
I'll leave. And Sable steps out.
Now you see, holy man, the problem here is that nothing is ever free. So, for the information of your lifetime, the information that would revolutionize the worship of the holy, what would you be willing to give up? Would you be willing to give up your armor, your halberd, your horse?
What is it
your
you
soul?
ask? What is it that you ask?
I would ask that you would be bound to my service for one favor to be called upon in the future.
You think I'll trust a demon like you for such a vague contract?
Well, it doesn't have to be vague. We can get as specific as you want. I don't have any time limits imposed upon me. And at this, he kind of looks down at the desk. But you might.
Explain it to the letter.
Explain to the letter. Well, basically, in the future in which I would need a service contracted, especially upon the mortal plane in which you reside, I would require, and I would come to you in a particular way of communication that is unique to demons, whether it be dreams, bindings, or even physicality if I needed to. I would come upon you and tell you the service required of you. The service required of you, for the show of good faith, I would let you veto it if it was morally reprehensible to you. However, should you disagree too many times, unfortunately, we would have to invoke the failure clause, as due to the fact that you are agreeing for this knowledge in addition or in trade for the service you are rendering to me.
No. The only clause I will accept is I may veto. You may ask one request, and if I find it morally reprehensible, I may veto it. If I do not, I will go with it.
So you're telling me that you believe that your ability to veto one request at all times is worth knowledge that no mortal has or ever will have.
You're asking a lot from a man of the dawn.
You're asking a lot from somebody who knows everything about your religion. And I mean everything.
Oh, this is awesome.
You may make 3 requests. If it's morally reprehensible, that voids a request.
One request, but I may ask it of you multiple times. It need not be the same request. So, as an example, in the far future, if I were to come to you and were to ask you to massacre a village, you could say no. But if the next day I came to you and said I needed you to grab this carrot out of the ground, that would still be a favor that I would ask of you. Now note these are hypothetical and obviously not binding to the terms of the actual contract. But this is important. Because of this knowledge, this is important knowledge. I need to know that if you deny my request 5 times, we will take this to be adjudicated in front of representatives. Let me finish. Representatives from each party involved. One from the Dawn and one from, the Infernal Courts. If in front of both of them you were shown to be contrarian merely for the sake of being contrarian. If I asked you to simply pick up a goblet off of a table and hand it to me, and you denied that based on it being morally reprehensible, that would be frivolous. And it would invoke the failure clause of your contract. The maximum failure clause that I am able to offer is the one you saw in your friend's contract, that you would be in service to me for no more, no less than 365 days, in which time I would pay you for your service, and I cannot place you in any situations that would be needlessly dangerous.
You get 1 request. If I refuse...
5 times. If you refuse 5 times on the basis that they are morally reprehensible, they will be adjudicated.
And what happens if all the times what you say is morally reprehensible?
Then the contract will be rendered moot.
3 times. We'll make it that. Nice and simple.
3 times, but I'm not going to tell you what the Dawn does or the Holy does when he wakes up.
That is all I want to know. How the Holy went into the ground, I do not care.
See, now this is important. You want to know the future of a divine being. For that, I would need 5.
If both parties... it would require both our parties to agree that I'm in void of the contract.
It would require both a member of the celestial host of the Dawn and a member of the Infernal Courts. However,
if the Dawn disagrees,
remember that for the sake of this covenant, the holy, in effect, both parts of the party are there as expert witnesses, basically to prove that whatever I asked of you was morally reprehensible. If the Dawn does not find it, if the holy representative of the Dawn, if the celestial representative does not find it reprehensible, then you would be failed.
Right.
Now, reminder, you know as well as I do that Dawn does not forgive. So if you were to be found going back on a deal, that would not endear you to the eyes of your religion. Especially not the celestial host that represents the pure law that is the holy and the Dawn. So, it's definitely all agreeable. However, you will be kept to your word.
And this is the part where I think enough has been said, and we can decide that out of the public chat.
Certainly. And he takes a small piece of paper out of his piece of paper out of his coat and hands it to you. If you splatter a small amount of blood, I will be summoned to Earth merely for the duration of the drafting and signing of our deal.
Whether Sir agrees or not, I'll message you later.
Certainly.
Okay? And we'll just leave that ambiguous for everyone. And Sir walks out after this.
Are you done?
Make your contract.
Thank you for your permission, good sir.
Wait, my lord, what was the deal
steps
that
into
you
the circle.
contracted?
You can hear him there on the circle.
I was mentioning
I
the
can't
deal
hear-
that we discussed that she would make. That is what I was referring to.
Real quick, Lord, Sir 14th, what were the conditions for your quest? Do you remember?
Yes, it was to do what he can to. Let's see, where is it exactly? Boo, 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 boo.
And I'm sorry, you guys. I just want to make sure of this real quick.
Defend Arrow from
Don't worry.
iniquities that besets him.
Okay, so to save Arrow, what were the vows required of you?
Truth, comforting others, and truth, hospitality, and piety. Daily holy services.
So you're unable to lie.
Yes.
So you just lied to your group.
No, I didn't. I just said I was...
You weren't discussing the deal that Sable was making, though.
No, I said when I... What asked was... He asked, what deal were you discussing? What I took that as saying... He was asking, what was I talking about when I told Sable to go in and make a contract?
Yeah.
So that's what I was referring to.
Okay, just making sure. Because this is
He's not
important.
lying to me, is he?
No.
He's technically lying to you, but
No.
unfortunately,
God damn it!
it's more of a lie of
VR
omission than actual lies.
VR would have no idea that Sir is even considering
Yeah.
making his own contract, so he should never even make such a question.
I'm pretty ignorant.
Well-
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, if he actually made
We
a
just
very
lo-
specific question,
We-
that'd be different.
we're basically playing cards out there or something. because-
Yeah, you come out
Yeah,
like
like,
Crunk is like swinging his sword at some invisible shit. Everyone's just kind of chilling out.
Hey, Ren, you wanna? Don't know.
Do you want
Rock,
tea,
paper,
Bayard?
scissors?
It can calm your nerves.
It is at this
Sure.
point that the magical effect around the circle dissipates, and you all can see the small being within.
What the hell is that thing?
I am he who watches.
Yes?
No, it's disgusting.
Oh, they are.
Get it away from me, this instant.
I put the contract
Tiny.
down on the desk.
And you are ready to sign?
I am, and I suppose you're ready. The shadow is bound.
Of
And then I'm ready to break the circle and let you out.
certainly.
And
All
that was
right.
first? All right.
He takes he takes out a small quill from his really shitty jacket, kind of pricks his own hand, draws a small sigil on the paper, wipes off the quill, and then hands it to you.
I take the quill and prick my finger and mark the initials SA.
Hey, what is this?
Before he takes the quill back, he says, "And this is binding."
It is.
Great. All right. The being known as the Shadow is currently bound beneath the inn in Mentoran.
Beneath the inn.
Beneath the inn.
Beneath.
Oh, God. That explains a lot.
It would explain why, and he points to both Sir and VR. You both look like you had a bad night.
What the hell are you talking about?
What
Fiend
did you
out with
guys
it.
do together the other night?
Nothing happened.
Now, who watches, if you would be so kind as to step to that side of the circle and take cover, I'd rather not hurt you by mistake.
Just break the line on the outside.
Okay. Actually, how resilient is this circle? Is it just like what's it made of?
Well, it's in the ground, but if you scrape across it with the express intent of breaking it, you'll break it.
Oh, okay, that's easy then. Then I step back out and drag my heel as I go.
I have a very small question about the binding of this demon. Who
Before,
found it?
and this is before your heel scratches across. The demon looks over, says yes.
I stop.
Sorry. Who bound this demon?
You'll have to pay for that, Ren.
Are you sure?
Ask him.
I mean, I think whereabouts might entail that we know how he got there.
You're asking who bound the shadow.
Well, how did he got there and then?
You're asking how he was bound.
Probably by who, but I take what I can.
How and by who are two different things, each of which you would have to pay for.
See?
Well, shit, this demon doesn't play around, does he?
Nothing is free, mortal. Nothing.
Don't risk your soul on a fiend.
I think we have all we need to know.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth risking my soul over, but I'm really curious as to how.
He's
gone from
just
my
a
sight.
watcher. You wouldn't be
Anyhow.
risking your soul.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to
demon.
contract for your soul directly. I would have to get in touch with one of my superiors for it.
Oh,
Your diablerie ends here.
Are we done with him now?
they are.
Can I... We're done with him now. Yes? Yes. And now I scrape my heel across the
Okay.
circle.
He, as soon as the circle breaks, everything kind of settles in the room. He adjusts his jacket a little bit, says thank you, and disappears in a small flash of light.
Done.
What? Here's
so
the
that was it.
Nothing. Aside from the usual ping from Sable's bag of books.
That was a rather unthreatening demon.
I keep telling you, there's a very big difference between different kinds of demons.
Sarah
They're
walks
just-
out.
Probably.
Well,
Sarah-
guys,
Sarah
as
just
much
walked
as I'm happy to hear about all this happy bullshit, magic demon bullshit, we should probably get back to the town.
She has freed
Yeah.
us from the tyranny of the
are we-
demon.
Are we done? Thing is, are we down here in the caves?
There's no other entrances or exits in the caves that you guys could find. You guys didn't.
Yeah.
You guys didn't.
We were gonna check the sacrifice pits.
I was going to say, unfortunately,
out.
there's not much there besides bones.
Okay.
Bones from animals and humanoids, but not really anything else.
So we're probably. So we don't know where these things came, or how do they breathe, and if they do at all.
You do not.
Any ideas about?
How many have we killed?
10.
There was 15
How many
last
did we-
time.
There
There's
was
few
10 to
missing.
15 based on what Rin could see in the darkness.
Okay.
How many did we kill last night?
One.
Just the one?
Just the one. The one that you cut in half with your fucked up magic.
What Sarah will suggest is to Hycorax to attempt that earth spell to collapse the cave.
We just lost Rin.
So we
Hycorax, what do you think of that?
that's the cave.
Playing
Well.
with the elements again? Well, if we don't have any use for the cave, I suppose once we're clear of it, yeah.
Yes. Once we're clear, so we
There's
collapse it.
plenty of ways for it to go horribly wrong, but it does seem like the most effective way of keeping this place sealed off.
Mm-hmm. Sir settles up.
Certainly. So once you were all outside, go ahead and give me the elemental mastery roll, Hycorax.
He's just brushing his horse right now while waiting.
I'm just sitting on my broom, just hovering.
Okay.
So that was a partial. Anything bad happens?
It's up to him which he chooses. Which do you choose, Hycorex? Does the effect you want happen? You don't have to pay the price, or it's not bad.
This is one of those things where I kind of don't want it going out of control, so I'm going to go with maintaining control over the effect.
Okay. Basically,
Might not exactly as I please, but at least that way I don't, sinkhole things.
okay.
Right.
You may control over the earth spirits as they do their best to block off the cave entrance with rocks. It is worth mentioning, however, that out of the ground to your left comes a small water spirit that only you can see. And the water spirit says, "You just blocked off a river. The only entrance to that river for animals to drink out of."
By the gods. It's a water spirit.
Nobody else can see
Only
it.
Hycorax sees it.
Oh, damn. Okay. Sorry.
You better find some way to make sure that water gets to somebody or something. And the water spirit goes back underneath the ground.
So is it just me, or we keep piling on supernatural beings we have to please, or else something bad happens to us?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, well, I mean, that's straight up on the character sheet. You guys can look.
Yeah,
You gotta
totally.
pay nature's price.
I know, but still.
But yes,
But
this
still.
is a very magical world, even if the humans in it are chicken shits.
Shit, there's so many spirits.
Spirits, demons, angels, all kinds of bad and good stuff. I believe you had something you wanted to ask in character, VR?
What was that, spirit, or, I don't know. Hi, Chorus, what was that? I don't say anything about spirits.
Well, you didn't see anything. You just closed the door. Or closed the cave.
Alright, well, Fire just doesn't say anything, then.
Well, I thought you were going to ask about the weird dreams you had last night.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Enough about the water spirit. Yes, did anyone have a strange dream last night?
I have strange dreams every night, they are.
I actually did.
What happened?
Did you,
I
Ren?
did.
Tell me exactly.
Exactly. Let's just say, let's start with the other people's dreams. I'm not comfortable telling about it. Just
Not
like this.
comfortable.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
I want to be cautious about this.
Sir,
Really?
by the way,
What
is completely zoned out just brushing his horse.
Oh, yeah. He's I'm sure he's got a lot on his mind.
Sable, then, speak.
No, I'd rather not.
You'd rather not. This concerns the entire party of adventurers.
Bayer, did you have
Then you
any
tell us what you dreamed of.
dream? If
Tell us
you
what I
tell your
dreamed.
dream, if you tell your dream, I'll tell you mine.
Alright, fine. Put
And if
it
you
there.
tell yours, I'll tell you mine.
Alright, I put out my hand. Do you swear?
Sable puts up her hand, and
Yes,
Swear,
I
swear on the 9.
I put up my hand, and a gout of sulfur-stinking smoke puffs from it briefly. I swear.
Very good. You swear on the 9. Okay. So, I'll tell you of my dream. Now imagine this, a shadowy dreamscape. I awake, delirious, and a figure appears towards me and offers me a deal. And
Figure.
deal is too good to be true. Wants me to betray my friends, to distrust them. I say, no, be gone! Then it is over. It never happened. Now, tell me your dream.
I dreamt of home.
Dreamt of home.
Mm-hmm. The courtyard, out in front of Kale Manor. It's beautiful, especially in the moonlight.
Sable.
Well, this is fascinating, but
Sir
does it have
pipes,
any-
Sir pipes in. Sable,
What?
you don't want to go home, do you?
I can't go home yet.
let me word it right. You don't want to go home, but you miss it.
Correct.
He continues brushing his horse and doesn't say
Staying away
anything
from
else.
home is hard.
And yours, Rin, what did you dream about?
Yes, Rin,
Well,
tell us.
it was kind of strange. Remember we mentioned the tower? The tower I assumed there was a demon in
The Tower of Aid Grisel.
the story.
Aid Grisel.
Yeah.
What
that
about
one.
it?
8 crystal.
I suddenly appeared there, and there was some very well-dressed figure, and he started talking about offers and some things that I can't recall exactly. I just know I told him a very non-conclusive answer. I mean, it wanted something from me. It didn't say what. I didn't know what to ask him. I told him that if he offered me something I might consider making a deal, but I wasn't really trusting of it. It was really weird, and it seemed too polite, way too
Rin.
polite. For,
Rin, how could you?
I didn't do anything. I just went to sleep. That's how I could.
You were a trusted friend. How could you?
They didn't do
I couldn't
anything.
walk.
There, all she did was have a dream.
Right,
I mean, it's
hey.
not like she actually woke up to find an actual demon in her bedroom or anything.
All right, but these omens speak ill. Please be
There,
more
you
careful in
realize-
future.
There, we were sleeping in an inn on top of a demon. What do you expect? Of course, we all had strange dreams.
The demon is
Such
Although
night
I-
terrors.
I seem a little defensive.
No,
the demon is trying
No,
to
I-
entice us. It appears.
there's a detail. I had this dream on the inn of this town. I mean, just last night.
Exactly.
Yep.
Clearly, the demon that resides under the inn is attempting to, interfere with us. It only
So there
seems
is another
natural.
demon.
Yes.
So there is another demon in this inn.
And yet none of us succumb to its pleasures. Interesting.
The demon that we're
Well,
dealing with is the Shadow.
that-
It's
That
not the most clever of demons, but it's perfectly capable of lying. It can appear however it wants.
well, to be fair, his offers weren't exactly very interesting. I mean, that dear something. That Duke. I mean, he told about power, but I don't want just power.
Yes.
That's just silly.
He offered me the same power, knowledge, spells.
Huh?
But none of you are foolish enough to take a deal like that, right?
I didn't take any deal. Though I was kind of curious about what it was, and I didn't tell it a straight no either. So he probably will contact me again.
Well,
Secrets.
that seems likely.
So tempting
Oh,
it
I remember.
was.
I remember the name. The name was Duke de Caor.
I didn't catch the name, but you managed to remember.
Yeah,
This is
Duke de Caor.
unprecedented.
Yeah, well, it straight up told me its name. So
Well,
Please,
in any
go
case, nobody here is going to be making any contracts with any strange demons and dreams, right?
Unless, Hycorax, have you had a dream?
I don't think Hycorax really care for demons.
Hycorax, answer me!
Fucking them.
Shall we head back to town?
We shall.
Yep, we
Neat.
go.
Sarah stops brushing his horse and looks at everyone.
And this is about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, if we're going by modern time. Just a little after the sun is high in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
my lord, did you have a dream?
Yes,
this said
yes, I
we-
did.
Just a question. I mean, about getting rid of the other chupacabras and shit. Did you guys read it? Got to a conclusion or something? Because I wanted to mention it before we went to talk about our dreams and that.
Oh, didn't we
Please.
block off the cavern?
Yes.
I'll resend it. I basically wanted to say that when my connection died. So I
I
assume
see.
you guys read it.
I think the shadow and the monsters might be linked.
That is a
You
possibility.
think so? How?
Well-
Interesting theory.
Here, allow me to make a suggestion. We will deal with the shadow, and assuming that we're all still alive once we've done that, we'll stay here another night, and we'll defend the cattle if the monsters return. And if they don't return, then we'll know that everything's taken care of.
Or
Fair?
that we've already killed them all.
Exactly that.
Sable, there's one thing you've overlooked.
What?
Just how powerful is this creature?
Which one? The shadow?
The shadow could possess strength that we haven't even fathomed.
I can deal with him.
If Sable knows its true name, she can probably vanish it back.
Bold
I do
words.
know its true name.
You do?
I will have to see this with my own eyes.
Of course I do. The risk is what it does in the span of time between us breaking the orb and freeing it and me banishing it. But if we
You
coordinate like we did last time, we should be okay.
We should be okay. All right.
Alright, but if he
Well-
appears in the form of a shadow drake, don't tell me any lies. And I kind of turn away.
They are. I don't. I.
You've been
There-
hitting too much of that pipe weed, VR. Getting all paranoid and shit.
Look, we've been fighting ghouls,
I know-
ghasts,
He's probably
reptilian
hungry now.
creatures.
He's not
He's
him
only
when
had-
he's hungry.
Damn it, VR is not a stoner.
All right.
I just kind of exit stage
Okay,
left.
so
that.
everybody, we're on the way back to town. It's at this point that we'll go ahead and call it for the night.
Sir wants
Sure.
to have a little chat with Sable first. On the
And
way back down.
Sable wanted to have a little chat with Rin on the way back to town. So, sir first.
We can talk. We can talk the three at the same time, I guess.
No.
No. Can't.
No, we can't.
Oh.
Okay.
Should we handle that in a text 14th, maybe? 'Cause I think
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
I'll just send me the text log after you guys are done.
All right.
But
Sounds
for
fine.
the actual gathered session, we'll go ahead and call it here. End of session. Move.
we learned some new things.
Well,
We-
here first. Does anyone have one bond they feel is completely resolved, no longer relevant, whatever?
I'm kind of. I'm kind of on the way to complete mine with 14, but not yet.
Okay.
I have to see.
I
None
think that
here.
I think my bond with Sir is fairly resolved because I hoped that he would forgive me for being a fugitive, and he very obviously hasn't. So,
Well, doesn't mean that you can't still hope, but that's up to you and Sir. Do you agree that that would be resolved, Sir?
I will agree, but not in the way Jinx is thinking it.
okay.
Okay.
So-
Mark XP and
Shit.
write a new bond.
Okay.
All right. None for you, Sir. VR, do you have any that you feel are resolved?
None of my bonds are resolved.
High Corax? Sleeping Dragon?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right. Once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfilled that alignment at least once a session, mark XP.
Nope, not in my case.
I will
Yes.
hold that off doing that until I talk to you. Jade.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, since I managed to diffuse trouble and try to help the people and try to help the group, I guess I was neutral. I didn't really take a stand on one side or another.
Okay. And like I said before, VR at Gorax. If you think you did, go ahead and mark it. If you think you didn't, hey, that's fine. No worries. All right, now we're going to answer these 3 questions as a group. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How demons work.
Yeah, we learned plenty about the demons, the shadow. We know that demons are very, very, well, persistent and crafty, yes.
We learned that minor demons can't actually directly contract for souls,
That's
for
true,
instance.
Certainly. Okay, so mark XP for that. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
too. The entire lair and a mini demon.
A hive of chupacabras, definitely. Now, did we loot a memorable treasure?
We got the books. Were the books of value?
The
Sheets or
books
no?
weren't, from what you could tell. Although a couple of you ended up coming away with a few more things than the others are aware of.
Like Sable?
Like an infernal business card.
Yeah.
What about the books on the table?
Like I told you, they weren't very.
Alright. So, only Sable
Sable
gets that?
textbooks.
Or what?
No, everybody gets it. Some of you came away with memorable treasure.
Okay.
You specifically, sir, came away with one of the most memorable.
Potentially. I haven't sent you the actual answer.
Of course not. It's always up to you, but you've always got it right there next to your heart.
I think I got nothing on treasure.
But that's fine. It's as a group. Ultimately, the group came away with
Came away with nothing but questions.
important objects. So
No
yes,
answers.
go ahead and mark XP for that. The 3 XP for the questions, 1 for your alignment if you did. But otherwise, we're good to go on that front.
Okay.
All right. So good session this week. Lots of good mix of combat, good mix of role playing.
Thanks very much for the session.
There was a lot of role playing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
great.
like it that way though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lots of
That's
interesting stuff. But
Role playing intensifies.
we'll definitely. I'm going to distribute the survey like I always do. Something I've been starting recently is doing like little mini text RP sessions in between sessions, basically for when the character is downtime and they might go shopping or they might have a discussion with an NPC, things like that.
Alright.
Sort of like what we're about to do, kind of on an individual
Right,
basis.
something
Me and
that your
Sir
characters might do in between, or something like bad dreams or something like that. So, I mean, I'll get in touch with you guys over the week as they come.
Cool.
Alright, groovy. And Sable, I'm gonna. Will you have time for that tiny conversation now?
Yeah.
Alright, groovy.
Alright,
guys, it was great.
Catch y'all later.
Yep.
Groovy.
Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, guys.
See you guys later. Great
Bye.
game.